There you go. Keeping us all in line. That's our Heidi. So Heidi.
How do I see everybody else?
Hold on.
What?
Okay, go ahead.
Somebody asked, how can we see everybody else? If you can't see us, there's options. Okay, so Heidi and I actually knew each other in Texas, and she always says she was more of a friend of my sister's than even mine. But I had Heidi on my heart, and I had her on my list for a while. And we went to San Antonio. We actually were going out to convention in Austin, and we stopped by and visited Heidi, and she didn't ask me anything then, but she called me later, and she's like, so let's talk. And then Heidi was a client for a while, and then Hiram actually kept saying, Heidi, are you going to coach? Can you coach? And it turned out Heidi thought that she'd be taking something away from me by coaching. So she decided, she's like, oh, okay, if that's not what's going to happen, then I'll be happy to jump on board. So she became a coach, and she exploded. I always tell her, if you sneeze, you're going to start another coach. So stop sneezing. So Heidi has had just huge growth. And if you know her, you know why. She has a huge heart. She loves people. She's service-minded. And she really is all about taking care of you. She's one of those people that you can't shut up. If she asks you a question, you tell her your whole life story, and then you're like, why did I tell her all of that? That's Heidi. So Heidi, I am excited to bring Heidi on so that she can tell us about all the growth of her amazing coaches. And so Heidi, take it away, girl.
I'm supposed to say something?
You got lots of coaches to introduce.
Hey, now I'm speechless. Thank you, Amber, and thank you, Hiram. You always say the most kind things about me. Yes, this last month we had some really great growth in all of Optavia, so much that they ran out of food for us, huh? But a few of those people were on my in my little sphere, which was kind of neat. So, so most of you know that I did this thing where they started calling me a global or whatever, and that's because 5 of my coaches happened to become executive directors last month. Well, you know, in total, 1 was before and another one was before, and then all of it happened at once, like a beautiful flower blooming. And so, what do I say? Introduce, tell you 5 names, and then whoever talks, whoever has something to say. Hiram, what do I do?
Well, you can do that. You can kind of go down the list there real quick. Go with your most senior coach real quick, which would be, I believe, Miss Emily or Beth.
Yeah. So I'll introduce just 1, and then if you want to share something, you can, and then I'll say the next one, the next one, the next one. Okay. So my first executive director is Emily Shaw. And I met her when I was a missionary for our church, serving, teaching deaf people in sign language. And she was a part of this group because her husband has a deaf sister. And so I knew her in the silent world, but yet she had the biggest personality and the most to say with her heart. And she's doing the same thing with coaching. So Emily, take it away. Your turn.
If I can figure out how to unmute myself. Hi, I'm Emily Shaw, and I guess I'm supposed to kind of tell a couple of things that helped me become ED. Is that what I'm supposed to do? First of all, I have an amazing coach. Heidi is totally awesome. Like she said, we met in a deaf group, and when I first met her, she had this giant personality that I just absolutely loved. And so when she left from her mission, we connected on Facebook, and I was able to continue to watch her. And actually, 8 months before I started a program, I contacted her and I was like, okay, tell me what's going on. And it was just way too much for me. I thought that it was going to be something that I couldn't do at the time. It was too much money, and I just didn't think that I could do it. And so fast forward about 8 months later, I'm like, okay, I have to do this. We had saved up some money so that I could do it, and I just decided that I was going to go for it. And it has ended up being more of a blessing than anything in that I can even think of. It has helped me to kind of branch out of myself to be able to help people, which is what I like to do. It does not cost as much as I thought it was going to cost. And it's just been really awesome. Okay, I'm talking. I have people. Anyway, so to become ED was a little bit of a struggle the first time. Like Hiram and Heidi were up with me until midnight almost. My very first time actually hitting ED. It was not even kind of on my radar. I just wanted to coach and help people, which was just kind of has turned out to be something that is turned into a business for me, which is kind of crazy. Things that helped me. Number one, relying on my coach. I ask her questions all the time. I have her on text messaging and Facebook messaging. It's like I hit her in both directions sometimes to get information and help that way. I rely on all of my team, my coaches. I ask questions. I do as much question asking as I possibly can. Guys, shh. And I rely on trying to like follow all the rules. Like I'm kind of a rule follower by nature, and I want to do all the things that will help me be better. Some other things are that I could do better, that I would like to do better, is get more organized. Like right now, I have you looking into my kitchen that is very organized and pretty now. But if you could see the rest of my house, it's a little chaotic. So I need to be better organized, which is something that I'm working on. But overall, I think that my biggest like takeaway and biggest thing that really helps me is to rely on people, rely on the people that are above me, that help me to keep going. They give me inspiration and words and all the tools that I need to keep going.
So it kind of reminds me of a little bit of what we listened to tonight on Dr. A's call. Somebody talked about perfection. Okay, perfection is the biggest killer of goals. Did you know that? Trying to be perfect. Margie and Alan and Tiana and I, we went to a seminar the other day that this guy talked about trying to finish your goals, and perfection is the biggest killer of finishing goals. If you think that you're going to be perfect, it's not going to happen. And it's gonna break you normally, where you don't finish it because you don't feel like you can be perfect at it. Be messy, play messy, have fun being messy, and then organize as you can down the road. So you're a perfect example of that, Emily. Perfect example. All right, Heidi, who do you want to introduce next?
I think one more.
Go ahead.
One other thing that has really helped me too is to post and be as much on, like, in other people's faces as possible. I post at least 3 times a day, and I post something, just some sort of inspiration or something funny. Then I post something about me and my family, something crazy, and then something about Optavia, and I try to make sure that I get that in every day. Perfect.
All right, Miss Heidi.
Thank you, Emily. Good job sharing your heart tonight. Also, I have an executive director. Her name is Beth Livesey, and she, bless her heart, we were in the same church group before I moved to San Antonio, and she right after I had a baby, came over and like swept my floors for me. Isn't that like a heart of gold? I know she's done so many other things, but that always stands out in my mind because it was something I couldn't do for myself at the time. After I had this baby, I had a really bad hip problem. Anyway, and I just it just shows her heart, and that's who she is, and it's always true to her character to be reaching out and helping someone else. So coaching fit right in her alley. No joke that she would become an executive director because of that. So Beth, will you share a little tidbit with us? Do you know how to come off mute? Okay, good.
Yes. I am technology challenged, but I do know how to come off mute now. So, well, I'm going to say, so I actually got executive director in January, but that was with a lot of help. And so I kind of consider myself as just getting executive director really last month. And I'm going to attribute that to doing the map. So April was the first time that I actually did an honest map, like actually sat down and worked the whole thing out. And that really helped me a lot because it helped me see exactly where I was, where I wanted to go, and how I could get there. I happened to bring on somebody who wanted to coach like right away. She was only on program. Cherie was only on program for a couple of weeks and she wanted to coach. And that helped. When you have a senior coach, that helps, right? She achieved senior coach. I think she would have had manager, but somehow her last order didn't get processed that night. So the rank just showed senior coach, but she was there. It just didn't push that one last button. So that helped too, helped me to get ED. And so now the goal this month is just to kind of keep to do that and get a little bit further along. I've had a couple of people that have just been on my heart that I need to do specifically for coaching because I know that they can use the help. And that's my goal the next week is to reach out to those particular people. The other thing I'm going to say is Heidi, Amber, and Hiram, you guys all three are incredible because all three of you have jumped in to help me, whether it was to do celebration calls with clients or to answer questions that I didn't know. If I can't get a hold of one of you, the other two are always there to support. And that's greatly appreciated. It's all part of the family, right? So appreciate you guys. So any success we have, we owe to you guys. You guys are great.
You hit a couple of things there, Beth, that I love is the blended path. Okay, the blended path, which means that you go executive director, not just on your own frontline volume, but by helping somebody else do the same thing that you're doing. You're more secure as a coach if you have senior coaches with you. And it's a lot easier to hit a rank if you have that, but you're also in that progress of teaching somebody else and duplicating what you're already doing. But you're a pretty new coach. You're a brand new executive director, even though you hit it one time, you feel like you're a brand new executive director. You don't know how to do it by yourself. So that hits the second point that you talked about was not doing this by yourself.
Right.
And that's the biggest thing is you don't do this by yourself. You have Heidi, you have Amber, you have me. And so does now your coach. And that's amazing. I love the way that we do this is we help you, we show you how to do it, we let you do it, or we show you how, we watch you, and then we let you. Same way. It's just duplication all over again, all over again, all over again. So congratulations, Beth.
Thank you.
Well worth or well deserved for sure.
Thanks.
All right, Heidi.
Okay, awesome. Beth, thanks again. And then I have another coach who did the executive director thing and in a similar manner, with the blended manner as we call it, and that is Tanya. Tanya, if you can come off mute and just share however 10 seconds or 1 minute, I can't remember how many things you said you wanted to say. Go ahead.
I'm going to talk.
Wait, let me tell you how I met Tanya. I was best friends with her sister through some of my early college years. And Tanya likes to say she was just the little sister who tagged along, but she always had this sweet, to me it was child, but she makes it sound like she was this little tiny girl, but she was a teenager. Like she was there. We just stayed friends because she has a heart of gold too. So, okay, go ahead, Tanya.
Thank you, Heidi. So I guess I was thinking about how I got to this ED position because I just started a program like 3 months ago. And the first, 2 weeks I became a coach. And I was very nervous to become a coach because I'm still overweight. I'm still on my journey. And I thought, well, what are people going to think? How can I be a health coach if I'm still not at my goal weight? So that was a big concern for me. And I remember when I started coaching and I was talking to Heidi and Hiram said, okay, so go ahead and post, do a post of your before and after picture. And I'm like, what? Before and after? Like, I haven't taken an after yet. It's only like 2 weeks into the game. So I was super nervous and scared to do that. So fast forward, I think this month, what I learned was to not be afraid, to go ahead and post. It's okay that people think I'm a health coach. It's okay that people see that I'm still on my journey. I think more people appreciate that and see that they're not alone. As I'm helping them, they know that I'm doing it too. And so I think that it carries a lot of value. So I think that's something that I learned from both Hiram and Heidi, is just to not be afraid and post and share with people at the grocery store and share with, friends that, that I see at work, that I'm not just doing this, even though I just do this part-time. I have a full-time job, but I say I'm a health coach, where before I didn't. I was kind of scared to do that, and nervous of what people might think. And I guess the second thing I learned was just to rely on Heidi. And I have been, I think, since from the get-go. Heidi has been my rock. She is always there, just like Emily shared. I text her, I message her, I email her, everything. And she's always there for me. She was up with me until 11:43 p.m. my time. And it was 1:43 a.m. her time the next day. And so I love her heart and how much she is willing to just stay up with me and help me achieve this goal. So I appreciate Heidi and Hiram and Amber and everyone that really has been there to help me. I'm excited. I hope that, I just keep going and hope that I'm achieving more goals along the way. So thank you. That's it.
Again, it's the same type of thing where it's like, okay, you don't know what you're doing yet, so you reach out to Heidi. You know what? Heidi says this like innocent of this kind of global thing. Okay, it really is that innocent. Heidi doesn't know what rank she is until she is told what rank she is. I'll reach out and I'll say, oh, that you're this close? And she's like, oh. And so she doesn't really know what it means. Her husband, David, poke your head in here. Okay, David knows what it is, but Heidi doesn't. So, you know what? That's what we're here to be able to help out with. Make sure that as your leaders, we can help you get to where you're at. And we are willing to stay up till, you know what? I think I went to bed just a hair before Heidi did, but I was an hour later than Heidi did, helping Tanya go that month. So we're here for everybody. Heidi, who's next?
Next, well, not last and not least. There's another one, but she's not on the call tonight. But Nancy Snell. I know her from right after I had my first baby. I was working for a family as their homeschool teacher. Like, they hired me in to teach their kids. Anyway, and they went to this co-op group where Nancy was, because she homeschools her kids, or homeschooled. And we met in like a nursery as I was like a brand new mom, and we would just associate there. And then we became friends on Facebook, and she followed my journey for a little bit. And it was a small act of God that allowed her to reach out to me. And when I say a small act, I just mean she really listened to him and felt that this was an answer to her prayer. And she worked hard and long to reach executive director. She came the blended path, and I think that everyone's deserving of it, but her heart has been in it for a longer time to get there. And her work ethic is intense. And so I love her for that. Nancy, share what you want. Do you know how to come off mute?
Okay. I just want to ditto everything that Beth said, because from January till now, started coaching, pretty much actively coaching, lucked into a senior coach, technologically challenged, blended path. Of course, I said that already. But you know me, Heidi, the minute she started talking, I had a song in my heart when she mentioned you guys. So, serious, when it comes to Heidi and Amber and Hiram, they're always singing, lean on me when you're not strong. That is what I live by, is those guys allowing me to lean on them, because I don't do leaning on people. I used to have trouble in church letting people serve me until someone said, you're denying them blessings. Let them serve you. And I'm like, oh. So I hope you guys are getting lots of blessings from serving me so much. And that's all I can say is thanks. But I will say that I'm looking forward to having mornings off because my phone has to be off at work. And so I'm like part-time. So I hope to be able to, get a little more action going with my phone in the mornings.
We'll talk about the financial part of this because a lot of you haven't hit executive director yet. And normally when you're hitting executive director, you're anywhere from making probably $1,500 to $3,000 at the executive director rank. And so, you know what? That's a huge blessing. As Nancy's saying, she's waiting for that time that she can build it up just enough that she can go part-time or no time. You know what? Not everybody wants to. That's not everybody's goal to replace their income, but it is a huge financial benefit. So just a couple of things I wanted to end with before we get off today was a couple of things that I took from Dr. A's call today was identity. Is this a part-time gig or is this a full-time gift that you're ready to give out? Remember that. Is it a part-time gig or is it a full-time gift? You can give this out being part-time as long as you're full-time in it. When people say, what do you do? What do you tell them? Okay, so a lot of times they'll say, what do you do, Hiram? I'll say, I'm a nurse. I'm a nurse, because sometimes you don't know what to say if you're a health coach. But if you can say that you're a health coach and you can help people, I don't need to see rats right now, thank you.
They're so cute.
So anyways, perfection. Don't worry about being perfect. Just do what you can do. Okay, just like that. My daughter coming in, we bought snakes a couple of days ago, if you haven't seen, and she's trying to show me the rat that they're about to feed the snake. So, anyways, so if it's the last thing that I took from there, it's not if, but when. Okay. Emily said she watched Heidi for months before she would actually start program. Months and months. Okay. So don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. One thing that I want to say, we're a little over, but we're not even what we came close to do. I'm going to share my screen real quick. We want to make sure we got the power hour always. Convention is coming up. It's coming up in just a couple of months now, 2 months away. Optavia convention in St. Louis on the 19th of July. It is a not to miss thing. If you have any desire to share Optavia with anybody, you really should be there and try to get there and try to take your spouse as much as possible, because it awakens the spouse. It awakens that the other help on the other end. The last thing is, if you have a extra second in your day, this is the book that I was just saying that Margie and Alan and I and Tiana just got. It's called Finish, and it's an amazing book about how to finish your goals without actually by finding out that you don't have to be perfect. I bought the book, and then I bought the audio book, because I am going to make sure that this one it's a high on my to-do list. He's not a big, like, do your goals and then times them by 100. He's a do your goals and then cut it in half so you reach your goals. And I love that. I love the thought of, I want to make my goal and then I want to cut it in half, because I know if I succeed to this goal, I'll keep going to the next one and then to the next one. Just a great, great, great book. I'm on the last chapter of it. Anyways, just a plug in there. If you guys want to, if you're looking for something good to read, amazing book. So, all right, you guys, Margie, Alan, you guys have anything you want to say before we get off?
No, you did a great job. Congratulations, Heidi, on what an honor that was, and so fun to watch you grow. And just like Susan said on the coach tonight, it's okay to be a B+ coach. Give yourself some grace. You don't have to have everything perfect.
Amen. Amen. We love seeing your faces here, you guys. Reach out to those people that you might not see here today and just say, hey, we missed you at team time. It's all about team time. We want this to be a family. Okay. So reach out to the people that aren't here, and let's see them again next week. What are you signing, Emily? And Heidi got the secret code going on over there. All right, guys, we're going to cut it off. We'll talk to you later.
Hey, wait.
Hey, what?
Thank you to my mentor.